Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend DG Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Ron Mars. You are listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
In brightest day,
in blackest nights,
no evil shall escape my sight,
but those who worship evil's might.
Beware my power.
Green Lantern's light. Hello and welcome back to Sector 2814, the Green Lantern podcast. I am Phil. Joining me, as always, is Master of the Core.
I am Will. Hey, everyone.
And we're back for part 2 of
1,000. I don't know.
Yes. 1,000. No, only 2 of 4. Thank goodness. Was it? No, it's not Rise of the Third Army. It's First Lantern. Wrath of the First Lantern. Sorry, kids. Fell asleep halfway through it. All right. Yeah. All right. So, technically, well, we already got 2 episodes this year, but this is the first episode we're actually recording in the new year. So
that's right. So Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. So congratulations on reading Green Lantern Rebirth once again, Will.
I did. I read that on my birthday on the 30th. So
I was gonna say, yeah, for your birthday, yes.
So yeah, that's it's always a treat to read that on my birthday. This week I'll be reading, of course, another tale that is very important to me, which would be Quasar, Cosmos, and Collisions. So,
yes.
Great way to end a year, great way to start a year. So there we go.
Yeah, I have no idea when, but Justin and I were talking about doing more another Quasar on Marvel Tales. We're like, man, we need to get Will back in here. either more Quasar or like some Avengers from your favorite 80s Avengers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's the good stuff. That is the good stuff.
But yeah, he had to read some good Green Lantern to get the taste of this out of his mouth.
This week repeats.
Yeah, we kind of follow the pattern.
Yeah, the sins of last week, in that really you just need to read the Green Lantern issue. And I think Red Lanterns had more
last week
plot development stuff last week. This week it has less, but it still is really the only one of the other 3 books besides Green Lantern that actually has some plot, something to move the plot forward. And I think you're right. You hit the nail on the head last week when they made this 16 parts. They don't really have something for everyone to do in every part, I mean, yeah, hang around and get tortured by.
Other than this is your life.
Yeah, this is your multiple lives, maybe. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it falls a little flat, especially because maybe on month to month it would read different, but I think that would be even more frustrating because nothing really happens to move the plot forward, for essentially Green Lantern, and then you kind of waste 3 issues, and then back to Green Lantern, and then you kind of waste 3 issues on just messing with characters' heads. So I mean, I don't know. I really think this should have been tightened up a lot. I mean, we're officially halfway through this at this point. We've read 8 issues, and we've really only got maybe 2 1/4 issues worth of plot development, moving stuff forward.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so.
I mean, honestly, the last 2, last week and this week, honestly, not to spoil it this week, but I think we could have told this whole story pretty much in the main Green Lantern book. That
I kind of think so too. Or cut it in half. Make it a 2-month crossover between the books. Give it 8 parts instead of 16. Because I mean, it just seems, we've talked about this a lot. It seems to be committing the sins of the Rise of the Third Army again, which is just dragging it out, and dragging it out.
Yeah, and and I mean, especially like the core book and New Guardians, it seems like it's just. Well, again, this is a. I think we can blame a lot of this on New 52. New 52, a lot of times is just, oh, here's the worst moments of your life, and we're going to keep beating you over the head with it.
Did you almost forget about that? Here, have another side order. Whack.
Oh yeah. Wait till we get to core, but yeah, Xanchi confirmed.
Yeah, Xanchi is. But and they showed a yellow thing on Xanchi, so that means the new gods. How does that even work? Oh, we haven't met the new gods, but Darkseid put it there, and we don't know about Darkseid, or we don't know of any of the new gods, even though they came to Earth to tell us that we needed to go do these things, or else the universe was going to get blown up because reasons.
Again, this is the problem with the New 52. It's like, well, Xanchi's in there. Okay, well, how did the planet explode? Shh, don't worry about it. Shh.
It was a big yellow bomb.
Yes.
Who put it there?
Surprised they didn't just try to blame it on Sinestro or something.
Yeah, I mean, Volthoom goes through when he's talking to John about, you when you get the ring, you think you're invincible. That was never John. It never really was. So, I mean, even this hitting him over the head with this and doing it again, it still doesn't make sense.
All right. Well, should we go through the issues?
Let's go, man. Yeah.
Before we take the complete crap on it. Okay. All right. Let's get to. It's kind of sad. It's like the best one is always first every month. So.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Especially this month, Will, or this week, Will.
Oh yeah.
We see a certain someone we haven't seen in a while.
Exactly. Yeah. But and this one, I'll be honest too. It was it seemed really decompressed, and I think that it could have been tightened up as well.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah. Makes my brain hurt. All right. Green Lantern Volume 5, number 18. Wrath of the First Lantern, Part 5. Dead or Alive, You're Coming With Me. From May 2013. Writer Jeff Johns, pencilers Simon Kedzrancic and Adrian Saif, letterer Simon Kedzrancic and Mark Irwin, colorist Alex Sinclair and Tony Avina, letterer Dave Sharp, and editors Will Moss and Matt Idelson. Simon has been taken into the Dead Zone, where he finally meets Hal Jordan and Sinestro. Sinestro is unimpressed that someone like Baz was chosen by the Ring. Simon remembers his encounter with Blackhand, and Sinestro says that if Simon is in the Dead Zone, then Blackhand must have killed him. Hal believes Simon is still alive, given that his ring is still shining. Sinestro furiously tries to regain the ring, but Hal attempts to stop him. Hal says that they must work together to escape, but Sinestro still does not trust him. To defend himself, Simon tries to smash Sinestro with a car construct, but the construct does not even touch him. I love Sinestro's like, yeah, you're going to take me out with my own ring. Okay.
Yeah.
Unimpressed by Simon's faltering will, Sinestro tackles him and tries to take the ring, but Simon pulls out his gun and shoots him. In the Chamber of Shadows, Bedig, or however you say it, and the Guardians of the Universe fight Blackhand in order to try to get Simon back into the realm of the living. While the Guardians restrain Blackhand, Bedig uses a beam to manipulate the Black Ring. Sinestro is unaffected by the shot, as Tomar Ray says that that will happen to anyone with a sufficiently strong will to live. Even so, Sinestro still wants to obtain the ring and fight the Guardians. Tomar Ray says that the Guardians are at someone else's mercy. He tells the story of Volthoom. He was a mysterious explorer from unknown origins who was there when the Guardians first unlocked the emotional spectrum. By bathing in the light of the emotional spectrum, he became the first Lantern. When the Guardians considered sharing the power of the lights with the rest of the universe, Volthoom disagreed. He then wreaked havoc across the universe, killing millions. The Guardians created the Manhunters to stop him, but Volthoom could not be destroyed. Instead, the Guardians imprisoned him. Now Volthoom is free and trying to face off or feed off the pain of Hal's friends to recharge his power. If he reobtains his full power, he will remake the universe to his own image. Simon wants to give Hal the ring, but Hal tells him to keep it, saying that if he takes it off, the ring might choose another bearer. Suddenly, a green light engulfs Simon, who realizes that Dig is trying to take him back to the realm of the living. The ring duplicates itself in order to choose its new bearer. At first, the ring chooses Hal, but Sinestro wants to escape. The two struggle until Sinestro makes the ring show an image of Carol Ferris. This briefly diminishes Hal's will, and Sinestro obtains the ring. As the green light disappears, Simon and Sinestro have returned to the Chamber of Shadows. Wearing his Green Lantern uniform, Sinestro asks where he can find the first Lantern. Back in the Dead Zone, Hal remains trapped with Blackhand, is also stranded there. Tomar Ray says that the fate of the universe must not lie in Sinestro's hands. His ego has caused him to fail many times. Hal still wants to back to the other side, but Tomar Ray says they cannot escape the Dead Zone. The only other time the Dead Zone was open was during Necron's invasion. Hal knows that Blackhand served as Necron's catalyst. As he tries to touch the black ring, he is shocked by an energy blast. Tomar Ray says that Hal cannot have the ring because he still has a foot in the land of the living. Hal then stares over the edge of the cliff and ponders the consequences of not having a foot in the land of the living. All right, first question. Is he staring into the abyss or is it staring back at him?
Yes. This is going to be one of those leap first, look second situations that Hal typically gets
Not
himself
Hal
into,
Jordan.
right?
Not Hal Jordan.
Absolutely. Yeah, I thought this was. I thought they made some interesting choices. Excuse me. Having Sinestro come back instead of Hal, with Simon.
Yeah.
And I thought this was the art style. I think really worked with this whole Land of the Dead.
I do like the black and white for the land.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did like that.
But again, this felt like it could have been done more efficiently.
Yeah, it was a lot of monologuing in the Dead Zone.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's all they do is talk. So
you mean like the TV show?
Yeah, exactly. What? There's a TV show?
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought this was a pretty good issue. I mean, we actually had some plot developments, and it felt like the plot had got some momentum again.
Yes.
But don't worry, because we're going to completely take that momentum away for the next 2 3/4 issues.
The rest of this episode, yeah. I mean, at least Hal was playing it smart. He's like telling Simon, "Don't take the ring off." He's like, it might just shoot off and not choose any of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is
he's like the ring might detect me as dead and just go fly off to someone else.
And that's, I think I said this before. Pilots are not dummies. Hal's not a dummy.
Yeah, no.
He's just brash. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
But we did get appearance of the old new Guardians, whatever the Guardians that have been trapping Volthoom forever, whatever.
The hippie Guardians, yeah.
Hippie Guardians. Let's call them the hippie Guardians. Yes. So, the good things are happening in this issue. We're getting some movement toward resolution. But like we said earlier, there's 2 3/4 issues of mind games coming up, pretty much like we had last episode.
All right, I have a question. So the ring, can the rings only split into 2? We couldn't split a third ring off of this thing.
Why not? I don't understand that.
I mean, as that portal's opening, we see the rings trying to choose. It's saying Hal Jordan of Earth, all Sinestro of Korgar, and it's going back and forth, back and forth. Yeah.
why not just make another one?
Yeah, you would think even though Sinestro wants this strand Hal in the Dead Zone, he'd be like, you know what, I might need help against the
The
first
Guardians,
the first Lantern. Yeah,
the
if they
first
can take-
Lantern,
if they could take down the Guardians, I might need help.
or the third. They don't even know the third army's gone, right? At this point,
Mhm.
so
I mean, you would think Sinestro would want to take Hal for, if nothing else, cannon fodder.
yeah, because he'll go in and do something stupid.
Human shield. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see him saying, I'll take both Earthmen. No more
Yeah.
nice human shield. Yeah.
This one's the Chaos Engine. This one's the one that has the gun. So there we go.
Yeah. Didn't Sinestro say something about that gun for, like, why are you carrying that? Well, here's why.
Boom. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I thought this was a really good issue,
Mhm.
and we were chatting about this before we went live, but I mean, you could really almost just read the Green Lantern book.
Yeah, last week, this week, yeah.
Yeah, and I still think that the plot developments last week in Red Lanterns, and then the 2 or 3 pages that we got this time are important, but the rest of it was it was the same thing that we got last week. So
Yeah, and I mean, you could kind of squeeze squeeze that stuff into the Green Lantern issues,
yeah, I mean, you could squeeze it in, and then plus, or squeeze it into core because hey,
Oh,
John's
yeah.
getting tortured. Show check in with show a couple other ones getting tortured, but do it in 1 or 2 pages. Don't take the whole freaking book to do it, right? Because that just completely kills the momentum that we're trying. I feel like we're trying to get going with the Green Lantern book every month,
Mm-hmm.
and then boom, we're at a dead stop again from a plot standpoint.
I mean, with the crossovers like this, where every book crosses over, I mean, I guess you have a story to tell with Red Lanterns every other month, but when you're kind of doing a crossover, I'm like, do we need a Red Lantern book?
I mean,
We got a Red Lantern book before, like a Sinestro Corps book, or
yeah, yeah, that's true. I mean, and it just feels weird, this subplot with Rancor, is that his name?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Bleeze on Earth. I mean, it's like,
Oh yeah, we'll get there. Yeah, that's
yeah, but
everything I said felt weird to me. Felt even weirder this time. Yeah, with Red
exactly.
Lanterns. Yeah. All right, let's get the core.
You bet.
I mean, there was like a small plot point or two in this I did like, but some of the execution. All right, so let me pull this up here. We got Green Lantern Corps, Volume 3, number 18, Wrath of the First Lantern, Part 6, Pieces of You, May 2013. Peter Tomasi, writer, Chris Cross, penciler, inker Scott Hanna, colorist Gabe Edelab, letterer Dave Sharp, and editors Will Moss and Matt Idelson. Oh, what a surprise! A shorter synopsis than the last one. The first Lantern messes with Lantern Stewart's mind, showing him a reality where he saves his mother from being killed. Is that the reality we have at the moment? Again, New 52.
New 52.
Yeah. He brings up Stewart's early disaster on Xanchi. There you go. Ring that bell. Yes, we mentioned Xanchi. All right. He manipulates Fatality, the last survivor of Xanchi, into killing Lantern Stewart and then being killed herself on the spear that impales him. A perfect end to their love-hate relationship. The first Lantern manipulates reality, and John Stewart is now an Alpha Lantern. As an Alpha Lantern, he executes several Green Lanterns, including Kilowog and Guy Gardner. Stewart's sacrifice of Mogo is altered so that now Kal Rayner makes the killing shot. Finally, the first Lantern altered Stewart's execution of Lantern Kalak is reversed so that Stewart is the one is about the cave, and Lantern Kalak snaps Stewart's neck instead. All in an attempt to convince Green Lantern John Stewart they should have killed himself after he failed to save Xanchi. Xanchi.
I am a bit surprised on this one because Kat Matui was not mentioned at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
we're really
failed to
going to
sa-
hammer it home,
You
right?
failed to save her. Yeah, well, I guess they doubled out. You know what? I wonder too if they were. Have we mentioned Kat Matui since New 52 started? Were they just like, yeah, let's kind of like, since we've rebooted, let's just forget about her? Or
I don't know. I'd have to double check back in the core book, but I don't.
so I know they've beat
I
him
don't.
with all his other mistakes, but I'm just like,
Yeah,
have we even mentioned? Oh yeah, you failed to save your dead wife or whatever.
yeah. Maybe they're like in New 52. We don't talk about Action Comics Weekly. I don't know.
Yeah, that, or it's just like maybe since he, Volthoom was really pushing the John Fatality love triangle, we didn't want to bring up Katma.
Maybe I don't know. Which that whole John Fatality
Oh,
thing
that thing's been
never.
weird since she first appeared.
That does not make sense to me in a
Mm-mm.
lot of ways.
I mean, I know she was introduced by Ron Mars, but I mean, that thing's been bugging me since Judd Winnick kind of started to paint that whole love triangle thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was strange. Yeah.
hmm So yes, we did mention Zanchi. And again, what if you saved your mother? Well, she's alive now.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm trying to. That's like during the Philip Kennedy Johnson thing. I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, was his mother alive before?
I don't. Was she alive during Mosaic? I mean,
I mean, is that like an unintended consequence of like rebooting every like 5 to 10 years? It's just like, oh, no one can remember who's dead, who's alive. Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, this was the same thing we got,
Mhm.
last week with, Guy, in that
Mhm.
issue. It's the same thing that we got with Kyle in the New Guardians book. So now we get it, Core and New Guardians this time. Plus, we also get it with Red Lanterns this week.
Yeah.
So
And again, it's hard to tell like how much time passes in the fictional world other than the real world. But was he originally? He says he was a rookie Lantern when Xanshi blew up.
what was that, like 6 months ago? Yesterday?
Yeah,
I mean,
well, New 52 really muddies the waters, but like the original story, I'm like, he wasn't a rookie when Xanshi blew up, right?
um,
Although
I don't know that.
I guess it makes sense here in a universe that's only 5 years old, but
Yeah, I mean, he was. Let's see, that happened JLI time, so it was
was it
in what?
between Action Comics Weekly and Volume 3?
I think it was. So it
Yeah,
was like after Millennium. Yeah, because John and her were both in Millennium. John and Katma.
yeah, yeah.
He wasn't necessarily I don't think he was really a rookie
Mm-mm.
because he had taken over for Hal like back in the 170s, right? Or was it
Mhm.
180, somewhere in there? I mean,
180s, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So
So pretty much
yeah,
from like 180 till the rest of that series, yeah.
and then yeah. So I mean, I would hardly call him a rookie,
hmm
but
But again, unless that's New 52, since New 52 is so short. But
yeah, exactly.
ugh.
I agree, sir. I agree.
Mhm. But of course, yeah, we don't see Martian Manhunter or nothing. Yeah, yeah, you're right. What is that yellow machine again? It looks like a
New
Sinestro.
Gods device, yeah.
Looks like yeah, it's all yellow. So is it
Yeah.
Sinestro or was it Parallax? Oh, we could have combined Emerald Twilight and yeah,
And yeah, there we go. Blame Hal. That's always the safe thing to do, right?
exactly. And then the whole thing with Johnny and Fatality just killing each other.
Yeah, that was weird.
hmm And
Very weird.
then we got the whole, hey, remember when the Guardians asked you to be an Alpha Lantern? Yeah, what if you did it?
Yeah. But I didn't. Yes, you did.
I mean, even if he had done it, it'd be like, oh, and how would it have been his fault? The Guardians would have tricked them. They didn't know what the Alpha Lanterns were going to become.
Yep, exactly. I mean, I don't know. Zanchi. We got to beat him over the head with Zanchi. I
hmm
mean, I really, again, there were some things that I liked early on in the last volume of Green Lantern.
hmm
The possibility that he could bring Zanchi back via hypertime, right?
Oh yeah.
So that it would no longer be this thing that this character has to just endure again and again and again and again, because that's the only, he's become a one note character, and that note is Zanchi, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think Philip Kennedy Johnson did a really great job. I mean, did we even get a mention of Zanchi in the
I
War Journal series?
I don't think so.
Which was great. I mean,
Yeah.
that was awesome. So,
Exactly.
but you know,
But again, the whole end of that Jeffrey Thorne series, it's like, yeah, I mean, is Zanchi back? Kind of back? Is Kat Matui back? We haven't seen or mentioned any of the like Kat Matui or
which
Zanchi since then.
is John recombined, or is he still out there
Mm-hmm.
in the dark sectors? I mean, are they dark sectors anymore because his time walled off since he defeated the new god that was causing the problems? So there's just sorry, we always come to this with that
I know.
volume. Is that there's so many things that were not wrapped up appropriately.
I just wonder if like all of that, like a copy of John and like Katma and Zan, the rest of that just shifted to another reality or something, or
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know. Because a lot of those lanterns are back with the main core at this point, or are they dead? I mean, we don't really know, but we did see them in um, Dark Crisis, right?
Mm-hmm.
So who knows?
Oh, that's right. I think pretty soon here in a few weeks, Fractured Lantern's gonna, or was it? Oh, or is it Fractured Spectrum? It's something. Yeah, yeah. That's gonna be the new big event, and then I think the new core book's gonna spin out of that. So
Cool. I'm looking forward to getting 18. I think it'll be here Monday. So
nice. Yes.
looking forward to reading that.
All right. Shall we get to New Guardians?
You bet.
uh, Cover's not bad.
It is a cool cover. Are these all? This is not Andy Kubert, I don't think, is it?
Let me see. This one is Aaron Cooter and Will Quintana.
It is it's a very cool cover, and I like that the spotlight's on Carol.
Yes, yes.
However, we'll talk about that when you're done.
All right. Green Lantern New Guardians number 18, May 2013. Wrath of the First Lantern, Part 7. Paths Untaken. Writer Tony Bedard. Pencilers Hendry Prasietia, Jim Calafiore, and Javier Polito. And those same three are also the inkers. So pencils and inks. Colorist Will Quintana, letterer Dave Sharp, and editors Kate Duro, Will Moss, and Matt Idelson. Volthoom tries absorbing Carol Ferris, Larfleeze, and St. Walker's emotions, but Carol breaks free and escapes, while Larfleeze and St. Walker both overcome their visions. Yeah, kids, that's it.
All right. Well, and that's so. Was this just Flashpoint version of Carol?
Kinda, yeah.
I mean, it kind of felt like Flashpoint to me.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if that was fair, but
I wonder if that was a shout out to it, or if it was just, oh hey. I mean, playing off the whole, she wanted to be a pilot. She didn't want to take over the Ferris aircraft for her father and stuff. Yeah.
But I mean, okay, I like the fact that each of the lanterns that Volthoom has been dealing with have been able to resist him up to a point, right? So Kyle, Carol, Larfleeze, St. Walker. So that's 4. All the Green Lanterns. Atrocitus. We're going to see that again.
Yeah.
In the Atrocitus issue, but we don't really have a good, a Violet.
Yeah. I mean, we're really
No,
not.
sorry, Indigo. Indigo. I meant to say Indigo.
Indigo. Yeah, I know what you mean. But we really don't even get. We don't even have like a really Sinestro Corps member either. Yellow Lantern or nothing either.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's two of them that we haven't really got. Maybe that'll be next month. I mean, next week that we can gripe about
Yeah,
that we're
I
only
said
seeing
I
that. But I think I don't know. Carol's. I didn't necessarily like the way they were characterizing Carol in this. They made her. I mean, she just seemed angry, right?
Yeah, well, again, I mean, she's basically the squadron leader, and Hal's
Mm.
cut under her command. And well, again, too, remember that new 52 magic? She's about to shift to a relationship with somebody else. So
Oh yeah, that's weird too.
I don't know if we're, I don't know if we're all, I don't know if we're supposed to be like, oh yeah, Cal and Harold shouldn't be together, or
Yeah, that's weird. But I mean, this is basically a replay of the Green Lantern Corps issue.
mm-hmm,
Volthoom is in messing with your head, and then he's not. Move on to the next one.
mm-hmm.
So it's all right. Let's back up because I think I was still well. I told you we were going to do this as we go, right?
Yes.
What book was the best book of the week, and then
Oh
whatever.
yes.
So keep that in mind
Mm-hmm.
as we talk about this issue versus the core issue, and then ultimately the Red Lantern issue. But
Yeah.
I think I've kind of got my rankings, and I don't want to. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have much else to say about the New Guardians issue, unless
Yeah,
is
I
there
mean,
anything in
I found it interesting just that no matter what scenario he gave Larfleeze wouldn't accept it. Even
Yeah,
if he gave him his dead family back, his mind
yeah.
wouldn't accept it. Yeah, and I mean, it was kind of interesting. Saint Walker as a Green Lantern,
Yeah, but then ultimately, boom,
things go
he
bad. Yeah.
pops back blue, yeah, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And again, you said that everyone seems to like be rejecting Volthoom's illusions and stuff. I mean, I know Will is a supposed to be the Green Lanterns, but I think everyone kind of had. Would you say that most of them to operate any kind of ring, you have to have some kind of like force of mind and
I think so, and ultimately, all of the rings are built on Guardian Tech, and Guardian Tech runs on at least some willpower, right? You have to
yeah.
have and harness whatever emotion the ring is built to harness. But yeah, I think so because they are strong-minded. They have to be strong-minded,
Because was
and
it? I was going
I'm
to
sorry, go ahead.
say, well, again, this is the perfect time to ask you. During Green Lantern Rebirth, didn't Green Arrow say, does it hurt like that every time? Is it that hard to use it every
Yeah,
time? Yeah, the cow, yeah.
yeah. I mean, and that was a great little scene, and they're so used to it, they're that strong.
Mm-hmm.
But I would even posit that as you move away from the center, from Will,
Mm-hmm.
you almost have to have a stronger mind, or you'll get completely overwhelmed by whatever it is. Atrocitus to speak and do the things, or even Bleeze
Yeah.
or Rancor have to have a strong sense of self or a strong mind to combat what that color is doing to them, right? Or whatever. I mean, and the same on the other side with Carol. She has to
Yeah.
have a pretty strong. Larfleeze is interesting because, yeah, he's not just comic relief, but
Mm-hmm.
and Volthoom does say something interesting. He says, you didn't choose the ring. The ring chose you because of the way you were before it
Oh.
chose you. So, that's as hard as we're being on each of these issues, I still think that there's probably some core or little nugget in each of them that we can take away,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Is it worth 22 pages for that little nugget? Again, I think this thing should have been cut down to eight chapters instead of 16, but we're only halfway through, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. And again, Larfleeze has been Larfleeze for a long time.
A billion years, right? If
Mhm.
not more. And Atrocitus been Atrocitus for a few billion years, right?
Yeah. So I mean, those two should have to be able to break free a lot easier than everyone else.
I would think so too. Yeah.
Speaking of Atrocitus, shall we get the Red Lanterns?
Rock on, dude.
All right. So we can judge these issues. Not that we're not already judging them.
Yeah, we're already judging them. Which this is a great cover, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to remember. It's been like we've had like a new art team for the last couple issues, haven't we?
I think so, yeah.
At least since after that first arc, yeah. I mean, both were good, but they're different, but they're both good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. June Red Lanterns. It was almost bringing up websites that said, "You want to buy a Red Lantern?"
That'd be kind of cool.
All right. So the synopses have been shrinking. This one has no synopsis.
Yes.
All right. But here, I'll do the credits. Red Lantern number 18 from May 2013. Wrath of the First Lantern Part 8. It doesn't even give me the title. Writer Peter Milligan, penciler Miguel Sepulveda. He's also the inker, colorist Rain Barreto, letterer Taylor Barreto, Rain Barreto, letterer Taylor Esposito, editors Will Moss, Kate Dura, and Matt Idelson. All right. So here, I'll pull up my Red Lantern here. But yeah, if you want to give me your thoughts, I'm just opening up on the app.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. Volthoom shows up and says, "Hey,
Mm-hmm.
and boom, we get to find out that if Atrocitus, if the Manhunters would not have attacked, Atrocitus would have become an authoritarian,
Yes, like a dictator,
mm-hmm. and would have killed his wife and then had his son kill him,
mm-hmm.
which I thought,
Yeah, but that's kind of like, here's where your life could have went a billion years ago. It's like,
yeah, exactly. And we do get the end that Volthoom makes off with the heart. Okay, that feels like a really important plot point, right? Because that's something that last issue, Atrocitus and the Manhunters that he's co-opted, were able to capture and seal up, right?
Yeah, just reading this, I'm thinking. I mean, I know nothing, but I'm wondering if maybe I don't think Jeff Johns has I wonder if Sinestro Corps War, Blackest Night, stuff like that. Maybe Jeff Johns had more input on everything, or an editor had more input on everything. I think here it almost seems like, okay, Red Lantern number 18. Volthoom has to make off with the heart. Here. No, Volthoom. Yeah. all we need is Volthoom to make off with the heart. Beyond that, Peter Milligan, you can write whatever you want in this issue.
Yeah, I feel like Sinestro Corps War was really, really tight. There wasn't a lot of issues that didn't go anywhere, right?
Well, yeah, and the Sinestro Corps, we're really at 2 books that were really at Green Lantern and Corps at that point. Yeah,
but then we had some one-shot. We had 4 one-shots, I think, that came out. So, but I mean, so much happened in that, and and look at how much happened in Blackest Night. We had basically the Blackest Night book plus Green Lantern plus Green Lantern Corps, and it had those miniseries, which I still think was a really clever way to get the rest of the DC universe in on Blackest Night without interrupting the flow of their books, right? So from a crossover standpoint, and we've talked about this before, I think that Blackest Night is probably the best executed crossover. And because of that, it's one of the best crossovers, period. Right? This doesn't feel up to that level. It just feels meandering. And, I don't know if it's, I don't know why. It just doesn't feel, it doesn't feel as structured and tight and getting to the point of what's going on here. I mean but and that's not necessarily. I don't think we can blame the other creative teams for that. I think that's something that we saw with Jeff Johns back right after Blackest Night. I mean, you look at that, the New Guardians arc, which just kind of nothing really happened for months.
Yeah.
Really.
That's what I'm saying. I think they didn't give them a ton of direction on these books. It's basically like I said, this last issue, the Red Lantern one. Yeah, Volthoom makes off with the heart. Beyond that, yeah, do what you want. And it's just, it's not like, again, it's like with those other crossovers, have everyone move through everyone's book,
Yeah, I mean, make it each one a chapter, and obviously you want to highlight your characters in the chapter in your book, but this is like nothing's happening. I mean, literally nothing's happening.
Yeah, or it's like you have other stuff can be happening, but you make up a team of like, I don't know, maybe like Hal, John, Kyle, and like Atrocitus going after Volthoom or something.
Yeah, and Hal and Sinestro, I mean, which was a really, really great dynamic that we had early in the New 52. I mean, it was one of the things that made New 52 palatable. Was we had this dynamic between Hal and Sinestro.
Well, there you go. There's another fault logic, because it's like in the beginning of New 52, didn't Sinestro come to Hal because he's like, I need your help with the Guardians or whatever?
Exactly, and now he's
unless he's not taking Volthoom seriously. But I'm just like, didn't Volthoom just take out all the Guardians?
You're right. Yeah, I mean it's a weird logic. I mean, I understand the plot requires Hal be dead so that he can get a black ring and do stupid crap, but that will turn out to not be stupid. But anyway. But leap without looking, essentially.
Again, what? Hal Jordan? But again, too, it's so weird. Don't get me started on the Rancor thing.
Yeah, I mean, and that subplot takes up multiple pages of this. I mean,
that's another reason why I'm just like, did they not give them direction? Enough direction on this thing, or?
Well, but I mean, Atrocitus is attacking just a couple of issues ago. Well, actually, part of it, he's still on his attack on Maltus when he sent the Manhunters to go fight the Guardians on Oa. Why wouldn't all of his why aren't Bleeze and Rancor there attacking too? I mean, it's weird. It's really weird. I mean,
just this woman he just meets. She's like, the first thing in this issue, she says, the way that creep scream when you broke his arm, that was classic. I'm like, whoa, okay. So first, he's not a Red Lantern,
Yeah, this was weird for a lot of reasons. I mean, again, we get to the end.
Yeah.
Atrocitus, and then Atrocitus does something that I'm still like, okay, wait. I kind of understand the logic here, but I kind of think it's not great logic. Because Atrocitus calls the Manhunters and all the Lanterns and says that he is now responsible for the massacre of Sector 666. Because he quote unquote chose it from a guy who said, "Oh yeah, I can reboot anything. I can do anything." I mean, wait, really? You're gonna trust that guy? I mean, obviously, I don't know what happens next because I haven't read it yet, but that just seems a really weird ending to this issue, which is also an issue that is kind of strange anyway,
Yeah, it is so weird. It's like, yeah, Raw Red Lanterns come and kill Atrocitus. Atrocitus says, it's like, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
although I'm trying to remember, are we setting up this new status quo? Because I think we get our new Red Lantern leader. It might be 21, maybe. So
maybe, I don't know.
I'm trying to remember. I thought it was 20 some. So I think we're close to getting our new Red Lantern. I can't remember if that's the aftermath of this or.
Well, I know we get a weird we get an issue 23, but then we get a 23.1, a 23.2, a
Yeah, all
23.3,
of
a
them are doing that at
23.4.
some point. Yeah, it's
And then at 28, we get like a flip book or something where it's like Green Lantern on the front, Red Lantern on the back, or it's weird. I don't remember.
But yeah, I remember all those point ones are like villain books and stuff. So
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very odd.
I
yeah,
agree.
I was just gonna look at covers here real quick. Yeah, because I think we get our new Red Lantern here pretty soon. Let's see. Oh, that's right. So Red Lantern's 20 is going to be the final part of this
Oh, okay.
because they're all going in order. So I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's going to be the Wrath of the it's going to be an epilogue. So
okay, gotcha. So it's I've read that a lot of people think that as soon as Jeff John leaves, the quality just kind of goes down on the books. But I'll be honest, since New 52, I think that the quality's kind of been sliding. I mean, I wouldn't put this arc, Wrath of the First Lantern, at least from what I've read. I mean, I don't think it's better than that New Guardians arc, right after Blackest Night, just because, I mean, if we're looking at all of these arcs, or if we're looking at crossovers, I mean, I feel like we're in Brightest Day territory here.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, but that I just looked at it. It reminded me. That's the other thing. Yes, that the new Red Lantern is on the cover of the 21, but it's also a new writer. Charles Soule takes over with 21. So
that's right.
So
yeah,
once First Lantern ends, yeah, we're losing Peter Milligan too. So
yeah, and I'm of two minds on that because I feel like
yeah.
the first arc of Red Lanterns.
So I'm just saying,
really engaging.
I mean, Jeff Johns and Peter Milligan, we're losing at least two of the writers who started this since the beginning of New 52. So
yeah, but we're keeping Peter Tomasi, and Peter Tomasi's great from all of his core work. But I mean, core in the New 52 has not been awesome, right? I mean, so I don't know. I guess we'll just have to kind of wait and see. But Red Lanterns this week was weird, and then it has that really weird ending, and we're back to hopefully getting some forward momentum with Green Lantern again next week.
yeah, hopefully. Oh, but all right. Do you want to grade the books this week?
Yeah, let's see. Do you want to go first?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think. I don't know. Core might go to the bottom again. All right, this might shock you. Number 3, I might put Red Lanterns. I might put New Guardians number 2, and of course, yeah, Green Lantern is number 1 again. So
I think I only disagree with you on the Red Lanterns and the New Guardians book.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I would put Red Lantern second, and then New Guardians third, and then Core fourth. But yeah, I mean, these.
I don't know. It just seemed like such very weird choices in Red Lantern this week.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
And I did like. I mean, New Guardians. I did like that a lot of the focus was on Carol.
I thought that was a really good thing. I mean, and that was nice. Although what you said about it preluding a new romantic attachment.
Your girl.
New 52. All right, so week to week. Week 1, week 2. Which week wins?
Ooh. Oh. Well, basically, for me, it's going to be the Green Lantern book versus the Green Lantern book.
Well, no, I mean overall, which week?
I know. That's what I'm saying. So for me, everything. I don't know. I think I like this week's Green Lantern book better than last week's Green Lantern book, but But overall, I think if you do an average of the 4 each week, the first week might have it.
Maybe, yeah. I think I agree with you just because at this point we got Guy and we got Kyle last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Atrocitus actually had, I feel like Red Lantern last week being stronger
Yeah,
is
definitely.
what puts that week over this week, because as strong as the Green Lantern book is this week, I think everything else just was weaker in general.
Because last week you had Green Lantern and Red Lanterns holding the thing up. This week it seems like you only have Green Lantern holding it up for the most part.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. And I mean, I like this issue of Green Lantern because we're actually getting Hal and Sinestro. We haven't really seen them since
12 or around there.
12. Yeah, basically issue 12. So this is
Like
6 months later, which is crazy. I mean, we've had a little bit here and there, but it's mainly been Simon. And of course, all of that rise of the Third Army, which, yeah, we won't go there.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, it seemed like stuff happened this week in the Green Lantern book, but there was a lot of exposition.
Yeah, there was just a lot of, oh yeah, hey, I'm here. I'm
Give me
gonna
the
shoot
ring.
Sinestro. Give me the ring. Get away from me. I'm gonna shoot you. So yeah, I agree. I think we're in agreement, sir. I think we are in
Yes.
agreement.
All right. So anything else?
Nope. I'm
Every week. I hope next week's better.
I hope next week's better, but I'm really thinking that Blackest Night was kind of the peak, at least from a quality and just story.
Yeah.
Blackest Night seems to be kind of where Green Lantern peaked, and we've kind of been on a slow decline since. I mean, War of the Green Lanterns was nice and focused, so that was a brief bump back up, but then New 52 happens, and
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yes, kids. Next week, more of this fun Green Lantern. Wrath of the First Lantern, Part 3, and issue 19 of everyone's books. And then in 2 weeks, the last week, or issue 20 of everyone's books. Then after that, we'll start some of those point books, and because the week after we'll do Green Lantern 21 through 23, 23.2, and 23.3. So.
When we hit issue 20, we're like 40% of the way through New 52.
Oh,
right? I mean, because they only went to 52.
Sorta, but again,
we got other series coming. We got the Sinestro series. We got the Larfleeze series.
We got the Justice League with Jessica coming. Yeah. And 2 weeks of Threshold.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, remind me when we're done. I want to throw an idea past you when we're off.
Okay.
Well,
cool.
Question. All right, kids. So yes, so send us all your thoughts on Wrath of the First Lantern. All right. It's all just dragging.
It is.
All right, kids. So send us your thoughts. Email us, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can find all things Capes Lunatics episodes, social media, merchandise. Get your brand new Capes Lunatics merch, the classic Capes Lunatics merch. And again, much more deadly and much more organized than Volthoom. Lilith Hellfire demands that you rain random money on us through the cat.
Make it rain.
Her plans don't take that long. And of course, the Patreon, where Lilith and I give you exclusive, uncensored content every month. And if you subscribe, you can suggest topics for us to talk about. So please subscribe to the Patreon at patreon.com/CapesandLunatics. And you can find everything at tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network. That's tubespace.io/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network.
More vicious and brutal than ever.
This crossover. All right. Now, for this Will Allred, master of the core, master of the quantum zone, master of podcasting, and master of several Kickstarter campaigns. Will, tell them where they can find all this.
You can find me at Walred. That's at Gmail, Blue Sky, Facebook, Twitter, all those places, and some that I probably don't even remember. But if you'd like to check out the books that I write, you can do that. Crossover Division is at crossoverdivision.com. We'll be launching the 6th issue, I'm hoping this month. We'll see how that works out, but that'll be on Kickstarter, and you can, again, check that out at crossoverdivision.com. If you want to check out an older book that I've written, it's Diary of Night. We've got that available at diaryofnight.com. And you obviously have great taste because you're hanging out with Phil and I as we talk about Green Lantern, which means you probably love Marvel's Quasar almost as much as we do. And if you'd like to find out more about Quasar, you can do that at the Quantum Zone, quantumzone.org.
I'll put it in my navel.
Hey, boys, you look at the party? I love the party.
I hope it's going somewhere nice. They aren't even attempting to enter our orifices.
Star Blast, man.
Yes.
Star Blast.
And unlike Sinestro.
I, of course, love Hal Jordan.
That is true.
All right, kids. Thank you for joining us. Again, come back next week for part 3 of Wrath of the First Lantern. And if you can defend this stuff, let us know.
Yes. Are we just being too harsh?
Are we being picky?
Well, I mean, I really think that in comparison to the highs, this isn't as good as it used to be.
Yeah. Oh, there's an episode. We should be like, okay, rank them. Action Comics Weekly, Brightest Day, and Wrath of the First Lantern.
Rise of the Third Army.
All right. Oh, jeez. All right, kids. Come back next time. And remember, Volthoom? I don't know. Good night.